¿Listos? Una. You all have to do it, okay? Everybody in the room. Una, dos, tres. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. They're waiting for you guys. When I was learning English, I had a lot of trouble with the E and the I. So when I came, we started with the alphabet. So let's learn the alphabet, and they have the same issue. I cannot differentiate between the E and the I. So I told them this little trick, and you will see them do that. So we go through our ABCs, and I told them, for I, it's like in Spanish, when you get hurt, you say I, right? So I'm like, when you think about the I, think of it, something's pinching it, and it's straight, and it's an I, right? So every time they say the ABCs, they go to I, and they just go straight, and they say I. So I think that was one of the best moments where I was like, this is great. I think I really like teaching for adults because they want to learn.
Spanish speakers, the way that they pronounce B's and V's and so forth, and R's are different from English. So they'll see a B and a V and they say, okay, yeah, I got this. And they'll try to say it in their way, and it won't sound right to us. And so we'll say, what did you say?
The way I would define a beginning literacy student would be, I feel like a lot of them didn't get a lot of education. So it's mainly about getting some of that basic knowledge and introducing the language as well.
All of them, I guess you could say, have language. They don't all have literacy. So some of our students have come in, especially in the beginning literacy class, and they would not be considered fully literate by American standards in that they may or may not have much schooling, formal schooling. Some kids in countries that they come from have finished school in 6th grade, 8th grade. Not the majority have even been through high school.
It's been challenging. One, finding the right material, as well as how to make them understand. Because I can teach and read off the book, but you gotta know how to teach them and make them understand why English works the way it works.
Carry the 1, okay. 3. Now, see where we're going now. We've got 5.280 times 1,000.
So they're in preparation for their GED exam. So there's 4 sections, and one of them is mathematical reasoning, I believe it's called. And so they're here to basically go through the teaching materials that are produced for this purpose. You don't know how many gaps there can be in someone's experience. So there can be things that one person knows and another person has no knowledge of that, and vice versa. Certain things, certain terms they've just never heard before, like scientific notation. If people do see a need, if they want to go in a particular direction in a career, if you really like science, to do science you have to have math. Of course, to do science you have to have good reading skills too. But if you've made a decision to go in a particular way and you don't have the skills you need, then finding someplace you can get them is utmost importance.
A couple years ago in a prior job, I worked at a distribution center, and one of the contractors would call me up and said, I have an employee, he has to do a job, will you tell him what I need him to do? And I mean, he wasn't even my employee, it was just, sure, I can communicate with him. With workplace literacy, the biggest thing I think I saw was many of these employees would come in for meetings, and the boss would sit there and talk, and then he'd look at me, and then I would translate, and the meeting that should have took half an hour took an hour.
That one's tricky. What about that one? How do you say that one in your language?
A.
And we say E. This is A in English, so A, E. I just know that people are not accepted frequently when they're different, and I want to help them feel strong in facing that. It's different for each person, and I'm very well the stresses that they're under in terms of just being in a new environment and my hat goes off to them, because basically they are on their own when it comes, I mean, they might work with other people who speak their language, but fitting in with the rest of society is something that is not always a comfortable thing to do, and I think they're brave, and I want to help them to feel like they're, wherever they are, it's fine.